Heya, this is Sydney, and I am here to talk us through Saturday, May 10th, 2025. I think this day is a bit cranky, a bit hard, a lot of anxiety kind of floating around, free floating anxiety. And we're going to need to make some adjustments. So I think the advice here is to kind of roll with the punches today and to know that not a lot will necessarily be fully formed or set in stone even by the evening. 1:26 a.m. we have the moon in Libra opposing Chiron in Aries. This is, feeling emotionally wounded by someone else, perhaps maybe like you were wanting to make some sort of connection and you're met with somebody else's stuff, right? It's in the middle of the night, so hopefully it's just a dream. The big aspect for the day is 5:15 a.m. Mercury ingresses into Taurus, so goes into Taurus. So a couple things about Mercury going into Taurus. One, he ends up not really having any dignity or like special powers or help, I would say. He is kind of wandering around doing his own thing, being peregrine until he hits a certain set of degrees, which is not in the beginning. When Mercury goes into Taurus, it tends to kind of slow down. So we become a little bit more practical in our thinking, a little bit more stable, grounded, slower. We take our time to think. Matters of our own security and stability become the thing that's on our mind. Uh, and so I think that there's something about Mercury having been in Aries, okay, speaking from the hip, doing what it wants, speaking really fast. And now it's like, ooh, I did a little bit too much of that. I need to hold my horses here. When Mercury goes into Taurus, it immediately is within 3 degrees of squaring Pluto. And so there is an intensity, a criticalness, a crisis around the ways that Mercury in Taurus is, right? Maybe holding on to its thoughts a little bit too much, getting really fixed minded or fixed in speaking. And Pluto goes, nah, you got to change. There's also something about, needing to change one's mind in order for us to work on a larger platform with society. This can be an obsessive aspect, obsessive in thought, when needing to take some sort of action on the things that we're thinking. This can be some sort of mental crisis as well. 6 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. we have the moon quincunxing Uranus and then Saturn. This again, anxiety around our feeling pretty destabilized, right? Like there's a lot of things around resources changing, and the moon coming up to Uranus is asking for, it's like the people are asking for some sort of shift or change in how our world is being rocked. And I think we all have to make some adjustments here. Moon quincunx Saturn in Pisces, this is free floating anxiety and depression. What is not helping this day is that at 12:58 p.m. the moon enters Scorpio, and the moon is in her fall. In Scorpio, she is very protective. She can be very obsessive. She can be very vindictive. There can be a lot of emotional pain here. There can be a lot of emotional complexity and processing. Uh, Moon in Scorpio is intense, super intense. And so I think that there's something here around, we are all collectively, the moon being the people collectively in a chart, um, that isn't a natal chart, right? It's just a chart. We're feeling pretty intense emotions around what is going on in our world. And we're trying to emotionally process how to get through. The moon is going to quincunx Neptune, it's going to quincunx Venus, and then it's going to square Pluto. This is the moon going, we have to change this dream. We have to shift. We have to make some sort of better choices around our desires, our intense passions, our, the way that we want to do these things. The moon quincunxing Neptune in Aries, they're both ruled by that Mars in Leo. Mars being our drives, our desires, our passions. So we need to make some sort of adjustment around these things, around the dream. Moon quincunx Venus, this is adjustments in relationships, value, money, that sort of thing. Moon in Scorpio, square Pluto in Aquarius, this is psychological, emotional, and psychological intuitive crisis. This is the most intense feelings and needing to do something about it. Moon square Pluto could have a way of emotionally lashing out that just isn't great. This is also can be like an emotional obsession. Intensity, and just feeling pretty critical and crisis about it. It's not I think it's one of the harder aspects. It feels kind of like life or death. At 9:42 p.m., we have the moon in Scorpio by quintiling Saturn in Pisces. I think this could feel a little bit like a depression, but I think it could also feel like a balm, like how intense the moon in Scorpio feels. There is some sort of barrier, border, some sort of limit placed upon it. A healthier container for the moon in Scorpio to do its moon in Scorpio things, because Saturn has kind of come and said, I'm going to kind of remove you from all of that. At 10:43 p.m., we have the Mercury in Taurus, semi-sextile Neptune in Aries. This is new ideas and visions about the way we go forward are now kind of forming. So Saturday, not the best. Take care of yourselves, take good care of yourselves, and try not to emotionally spiral in the way that a moon in Scorpio can when it is doing its unhealthiest work. All right, take care.